Hello listeners and viewers, welcome to Kaduna State Ministry of Education Radio and TV e-learning program designed for our SS3 and other students staying at home due to the coronavirus pandemic. The present administration under the able leadership of His Excellency, Malam Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai, is positioned as always to ensure that under his leadership, our students are not left behind in all areas of human endeavors, especially education. Kaduna State is the center of learning. Therefore, we want to ensure that our students excel in their forthcoming examinations and beyond. Students and other learners at home are given this opportunity in order to continue learning, as education is a continuous process. Different subjects will be taught in this program to assist students to perform excellently in the forthcoming Senior School Certificate examination being conducted by NECO and WAEC as soon as schools reopen. Teachers making presentations will always provide their names and phone numbers during each presentation, and they can be contacted for questions, further explanations, and/or clarifications. The following numbers and contacts can also be reached for expression of any concern or observation: 090-865-00545 or 080-383-62072. Our website is www.education.kdsg.gov.ng. Our email education@kdsg.gov.ng or education.kdsg@gmail.com. Our YouTube channel, Ministry of Education, Kaduna State. Our Twitter handle @Kaduna_MOE. Or our Facebook page, Ministry of Education, Kaduna State. Stay safe, stay at home, and learn well. Thank you, happy listening, and happy viewing.
Good day, my dear students at home. I am Abbas Shehu, your commerce teacher, and I am here to discuss with you on the topic career. This topic is a topic found in transportation. My colleague by name Ramazan Abdulkarim has taken you from the beginning of the topic known as transportation, where she defines what transport is, types or forms of transportation, the advantages and disadvantages of each, so on and so forth. Today we are going to take a look at the topic that is related to transportation, and the topic is known as career. Now, under this topic, we intend to cover the following areas: 1, meaning of career; 2, classification of career; 3, containerization; 4, uses of containers; 5, charter party; 6, types of charter; 7, documents involved in transportation; and the last, terminologies that are used in transportation industry. Now, beginning with the first one, which is meaning of career. A career is a firm or organization that specializes in transporting other people's goods. It is a firm that specializes in transporting other people's goods. So it is a business primarily set up in order to carry goods from one place to another on behalf of clients, on behalf of individuals who wish their goods to be transported. Now, having said what we mean by career, we now talk about classification of career. The first one we have is what is known as common carrier. Second one, private carrier. And the last one, contract carrier. These are the three classifications of carrier. The first one, which is known as common carrier, is a class of carrier known for carrying goods from one place to another. For anyone who is willing to pay reasonable charge. Anyone willing to pay reasonable charge. They are out to offer service to anybody. That's why it is called common. They are not there for any person in particular, but they are there to carry goods from one place to another for anybody who is willing, who wants his goods to be transported. They are open to the generality of the people. Example of this class of carrier is where we have motor vehicle that operate on highways, looking for goods to be transported from one particular point to another. Then if you look at what we have, for those of you that are watching us through television, you will see that we have a plane here. We have vehicles that are there to carry goods that are brought using the air transport. When goods are transported using air or using sea transport, after being brought to the airport or seaport, we have carriers that go there to carry those goods from their point of where they are brought to where they will be taken. Then we have another one that we have a common carrier. This is another example of a lorry that you can see that is out carrying goods from one place to another. Now we go to the functions of our common carrier. Functions of common carrier. Number one, the goods must be delivered to their destination. Once you give your goods to be transported to a common carrier, the goods must be transported to the destination. Must be delivered. Two, the carrier is liable for loss or damage to the goods. When anything happens to the goods in terms of loss or damage, the carrier is liable to pay you because you have what? You have entered into a contract where you agree to pay him on the terms of transporting your goods to your destination. Number three, which is the last one we have here, the carrier is also obliged by the law to carry the goods safely and securely. He is obliged by law to carry your goods. Once you offer the goods to him for transportation, he must carry the goods and carry it safely and securely. As talking about common carrier, we now go to the second one, which is a contract carrier. This class of carrier works on contract basis, where goods are carried in accordance with the terms of agreement. An example of this is tanker that flight will carry our goods or carry oil, crude oil to the depot. Then with the last one we have, and you can see an example of a contract carrier. We have a very big vehicle here that transport goods. They are normally contractors. They don't just work on highways, just like the common carrier. No, they are stationed in one place. If you want their service, you go to them, and then, of course, search for their service. The third one is private carrier. This class of carrier is meant for the movement of goods belonging to a company or firm, usually under transport department, headed by chief driver. We call this private carrier, just like we have private cars. We have companies with their private cars. They carry their own goods, and their own goods alone. Let's talking about that. We go to the next item, but before you go into that, for those of you that are watching us, you can see a private carrier, a vehicle here, primarily designed to carry goods for a particular company. The company uses the vehicle to carry their goods from one point to another. This type of carrier do not allow their vehicle to be used by others. It is their own private car or vehicle, and they carry only their goods. Let's talking about the concept of carrier. Now, after talking about what carrier is, the classification of carrier, which we have the common, the private, and the rest. after talking about the functions of common carrier, there is something that has to do with transportation that we need to know, that we need to talk about. And that particular thing is what we call containerization. Containerization. This is the method of freight handling in which general cargo is packed into a large rectangular container and carried in this form from one factory to another, or carried from a particular factory to an inland or sea port. It is a process of packaging goods using containers. And these containers are normally made out of either wood or metal, because the goods are to be transported either using sea or using air as a means of transport. And because these goods are normally take a long period of time in transit, they are normally packaged in a very strong container so that they can withstand the test of movement in the sea, or movement in terms of loading and offloading. This process is what is known as containerization. Now you can see examples here. We have containers lifted that are to be taken into the sea. You can see another car here that is there. You can see a ship also where we have containers being put there for transportation. Now these containers, because they are heavy, they are big. Because they are big and because goods are put inside them, they are heavy to carry. And to carry those goods, we need machines, and there are special machines that are specifically made for that particular purpose that we call cranes. An example of a crane is what you can see here, or those of you that are watching us. Another one is here that lifts goods to the to the ship, or from ship, upload goods from the ship, or sometimes upload goods from the airplane. That's talking about the cranes that we have seen. Then we have containers. We have what we call containers. The containers are what we put those goods inside. But containerization is the process of packing the goods inside. Making of the containers, packing of the goods inside the containers is what we call containerization. But containers are the goods that are made, the iron that are made, where the goods are put for easy transportation. Then we have their uses, of course. Number one is reduction of what you call pilferage. And by pilferage, it means theft, small kind of theft that is normally carried out by some people who are inside the ship. Because when you are traveling using ship, you travel sometimes you travel months. You spend months in the water traveling. And because people are there, different kind of people are there. Sometimes you see people that are having back character that go from one point to another looking at what to steal. But when goods are packaged in containers, they help in reducing the act of pilfering, which we call reduction of pilferage. Number two, it quickens loading. It helps the quick loading of the goods because they are already packed and machines are there to lift them or offload them. Then there is also number three, which is talking about easy movement. They can be moved easily from one point to another because they are packaged. They are put in containers. Number four, they help in protecting damages. They help in protection against damages. Instead of the goods to be allowed to be damaged, when they are packed, still they reduce the risk of being damaged. It helps to reduce the risk of being damaged. And the last one is number five, cost reduction. It costs less, even in terms of loading. If they are to be loaded by human beings manually, it will cost more. But machines are there because they are packaged, because they are put in containers, because they are containerized. It is easy for machines to carry them. And it costs less to carry. I was talking about the use of containers. Now we go to another topic also that has to do with transportation that is called charter party. Charter party. We have talked about career, we have talked about the concept of containerization. Now we are going to talk about charter party. All these are connected with transportation. What do you mean by charter party? A charter party is a contract whereby a ship or aircraft is temporarily leased by the owners to another person for use. You have a ship or you have an airplane, you lease the ship, you lease the aeroplane to somebody else to use for a particular period of time. By the time you are doing that, what you are doing is known as charter party. The charterer must pay charges called charter freight. The person who is taking possession of the ship or airplane to be used during a particular period of time, he is expected to pay some amount of money that we call charter freight. And it is usually for a definite period of it is either for a definite period of time or for a particular journey. You charter a plane or a ship for a particular period of time or for a particular journey. And that will take us to what we call types of charter. There are two types of charter, namely time charter and voyage charter. The time charter is hiring of a ship or plane. A part-time charter has to do with time. It's dealing with periods. You charter my ship. If I have a ship, I'm going to use the ship for 5 months, 3 months, 2 months. On that basis, we call this type of charter party time charter. Then we have the second one known as voyage charter. This is where you charter the ship or the airplane for a particular journey. It's not about time this time around. It's about journey. You are taking your goods from one place to another. Whether you're going to spend 1 or 2 days, that's not the question. The question is the journey you are going to undertake. So this type of charter is known as voyage charter. Then we go to documents involved in transportation. There are a lot of documents that are involved when you are dealing with transportation. There are many of them. We are only going to discuss a few of them here. Number one is what you call consignment note. Then we have what is known as bill of lading, certificate of insurance, airway bill, manifest, shipping note, and then delivery note. Now let's quickly look at them one by one. Consignment note. This is a document made out by sender of a goods. Made out by sender of a goods, handed to the carrier. Or handed to the carrier and countersigned by the consignee on delivery as proof that delivery has been made. Consignment note. Again, it's a document made out by sender of goods. The sender of a goods will now make this document known as consignment note. And the document is given to the person who is going to receive the goods. And on receiving the goods, he is expected to sign a copy of the document that will be brought to you as a sender. And that will show evidence of the goods being sent to the person intended to receive the goods. Then we have what is known as bill of lading. This is a document that gives the holder the right to acquire possession of the goods that have been shipped. Bill of lading. When goods are brought to you under a contract by somebody, the document that will show that these goods are now your goods. The goods that have been given to you belongs to you. The document that will show this is what you call bill of lading. Then we have the third one, certificate of insurance. This is specifically to marine transport, where you carry your goods using sea or water. Before you carry the goods, you are expected to insure your goods against risks of being sink. Where you insure your goods against such policy, you are expected to be given a document that will show that yes, your goods have been insured. And the document given is known as certificate of insurance. Then we have the fourth one, airway bill. This is a document made out by the consignor of goods to be transported by air. This is talking about air because, as you can hear from the name, airway bill. It's a document that shows that yes, these goods are to be transported. And these goods that are to be transported are goods that are legally acquired. And the document will contain the names of the seller, from where the goods are to be transported, where is the goods going to be taken to, so on and so forth. Then we have the fifth one, which is known as manifest. This is a document that shows the full list of the cargo carried by a ship or aircraft. The full list of all the goods carried by a particular ship or a particular airplane. And it's normally handed to the ship, it's normally handed to the captain of the ship or captain of the airplane. Then we go to the sixth one, which is shipping note. This is a document usually sent by the shipping agent to the exporter, which contains instructions for the transporting of the goods. It's like a document that is saying that, oh, these goods can now be transported using ship. Then we have the last one we have, the last one we have here is delivery note. This is a document also which accompanies the delivery of the goods. When the goods are taken or transported, there is a document that usually accompanies such goods. This document is known as delivery note. It contains details of the goods, name of the seller, name of the buyer, the description of the goods, the price of the goods, the terms of trade, so on and so forth. Then we go to the last aspect of our discussion today, which is terminologies used in transportation industry. We have the first one known as freight, the second one dead freight, charterer, consignment, consignor, consignee, demurrage, demise charter, certificate of origin. The first one is freight. This means the cost of shipping a particular goods. The cost, how much it costs you to transport goods from one place to another. Dead freight, this is the payment made for unoccupied space in a ship. You hire a ship. There are goods that are placed in the ship that are to be transported for you. Now there are some spaces that are left unoccupied. The unoccupied space is you must pay for it because you hire the whole ship. So the payment of those occupied spaces is known as dead freight. Then we have charterer. This is the person who hires a ship or an airplane. The person who hires a ship or an airplane is known as charterer. Then we have the consignment. This is the goods that are to be transported from one place to another. Then we have the consignor. This refers to the person sending the goods. If you buy goods from me, I'm sending the goods to you using sea or airplane. I am the consignor. Then we have the consignee. The consignee is you that is buying the goods, that I'm taking the goods to. Then we have the demurrage. This refers to the extra amount of money people are asked to pay. They are forced to pay. When goods are taken to the port, for example, whether seaport or airport, you are normally given days to carry the goods. Now, if you fail to carry the goods within the given days, within the specified days, you will be penalized for that. You will be asked to be paid extra amount of money for that. And the extra amount of money which you pay as day passes by is what you call demurrage. Then we have demise charter. This is the situation where a charterer is considered as the owner of the ship for the period he hires a ship. When you hire a ship, it is considered that the ship belongs to you. You are responsible for taking care of the ship for the time being, for the time you have hired the ship or airplane. So the demise charter is talking about a situation where the charterer is considered as the owner of the ship or airplane during the time of hiring. Then we have the last one, which is known as certificate of origin. This is a document that shows the origin of the goods you are transporting. Where are they coming from? Are they coming from England, from Nigeria, Ghana, Saudi Arabia, whichever place? The goods must show where are they coming from. The document that shows that kind of thing or information is known as a certificate of origin. Let's talking about the end of our class. We now talk about summary. In summary, we were able to discuss in this class: 1, meaning of career; 2, classification of career, that's common career, private career, and then we also discussed containerization. We talk about the meaning. We talk about meaning and uses of containers, meaning of charter, party, and its types, documents involved in transportation, then terminologies that are used in transportation industry. Last thing we are going to talk about is assignment for you, my dear students at home. We have assignment for you. Question 1 and 2. Number 1 is saying, what do you understand by the term career? What do you understand by the term career? 2, mention any 2 classes of career. Out of the 3, just mention 2. I won't say mention, we're talking about where you write, you mention the name, and say something briefly about it. Number 2, write short note on the following. Write short note on the following. 1, freight. 2, consignment. 3, consigno. 4, demurrage. I repeat again. Write short note on the following. A, freight. B, consignment. C, consigno. D, demurrage. The last question, which is number 3, mention any 4 documents used in transport industry. Mention any 4 documents used in transport industry. And with this, we have come to the end of the class. But in case you have written your assignment and you want to submit the assignment, you can reach us through these numbers. Number 1, you can reach Abbas Shehu 081 00 127 508. You can equally reach Madam Zainab Abdul Karim 080 3284 7167. And last but not the least is Mr. Yari Zakaria on 080 656 94134. Again, Yari Zakaria 080 656 94134. Thank you very much for listening. Stay home, stay safe. Have a nice time. See you in our next class.